Hey, kitten. Oh, let's not view that, shall we? This is Wednesday, and I already have a joke up for today, so I'm going to try to just hit the highlights. They got home last night, about 5 minutes after I did. I went to turn the porch lights on and everything for them, and they pulled in the driveway. So I'm glad I was there. They probably wondered, why is she over there? I just had gone over to turn the porch lights on. The boys were sound asleep. They looked like they'd been run over by a combine. I helped bring in the bags, and they said, well, we'll see you tomorrow. And I said, that's fine. So today, I had some tea and a little something to munch on. I heard tap, 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 Nana, Nana. So when Spencer says, I have something to show you, and I said, okay. So I went over there, and he was showing me some new Matchbox cars. He has a bunch of new ones, as if he needs them. And 2 books. One he picked out, one Daddy picked out, from a store in Saskatoon called Prairie Ink. Instead of INC period for incorporated, it's INK, like the ink printing on a page. It's a really awesome bookstore with a coffee shop built on the side of it. It's a good place to go to if you're in Saskatoon. You wouldn't believe how many books are in there. And the kids section is really awesome. So I read the one book to him about Jeff and Alder. Jeff is a bear and Alder is a rabbit. And they wake up and they're having a terrible day. All kinds of things are going wrong in their respective homes, and they don't live together. And they both have the same idea. Let's go outside and have a nice big fresh breath of air, and maybe things will be better. But they both get locked out. And they think in their head, oh, my friend Jeff or my friend Anders has my spare key. So they go running to their friends and they bump into each other. And the bear helps the rabbit in through an open window. And they get the keys. They get the keys sorted and everything. And things are still, they fall on the toast and the jam gets stuck to them and, all kinds of stuff. And they decide to go for a walk. And they want to go through this little forested area, but they cross a field to get there. And the field's full of cockleburs. They're the weeds with little balls that cling onto their fur and stuff. They run into a skunk and all kinds of... They're still having a bad day. They finally end up at a little lake where all their friends are. It's floating around and sipping drinks through a straw and eating cookies. And even the bear, Jeff's grandma's there, and her own little flotation device. And basically all of them had a not so good day as well. And they all decided to do this, and they were all together, and they are all having a decent time. That's how that one ended. The other one is that these are both Canadian authors. I think this one was a woman, last name Bailey, Bailey. I'm not sure if that was her name. And then the second one was about a little boy having a dinosaur birthday party. Brian picked that one out. For some reason, Spencer doesn't want to read it. I don't know. Maybe it's because it takes place a lot at nighttime, because basically the boy has a dream. And they had a planned birthday sleepover party for this boy, and his mom and dad said, well, I'm sorry, we'll have to postpone it because your friends all have the flu. And he was really upset, so he went to bed right away. That's why I think it's a dream. And then he hears something, he gets up out of bed, goes downstairs, and he finds 3 dinosaurs on his couch watching a dinosaur movie. Then they go over to the birthday cake, and they eat it all up. And the ice cream is all over the place. And then they go outside for a breath of fresh air, where we go again. And they find 3 or 4 more dinosaurs, only these are giant ones. An Apatosaurus, Triceratops, Stegosaurus. And they all decide to go on a big walk. Have fun through walking, having a hike through the town. It's nighttime. And the little boy says, since my friends are sick, can we go visit them? We'll go to them instead of them coming to my house. Okay. So they visit the 3 different friends. And one of them's a little girl. And she says, we need to have a picture of this. No one will believe it. Let me go get my mom's phone. And then my head went, because we didn't have that technology when I was a kid. If you're going to take a picture, you got a camera, not someone's phone that had a camera in it. Like, wow, that made me feel old. But then they have a good time. They have a lot of fun. I didn't get to read the end of the book because Spencer caught me reading it and said he didn't want me to read it. But somehow 3 days later, he gets a package in the mail, and the mom and dad have a surprised look on their face. And it's a picture, a selfie of the little girl and the little boy and all the dinosaurs behind him. I don't recall exactly how it ends. That might be it. And then I got a souvenir. They have a First Nationers store. The region's Native Americans have a store where they sell their wares and their designs and things. This is by, I can't remember his first name. It might be John. His last name is George. Made this design. Isn't that pretty? And inside is some loose leaf herbal tea. This is a combination of 3 things. Saskatoon berries, which are, I think, a varietal of blueberry. Nettle, like stinging nettle. And mint. Right away you can taste the mint. And you can taste the blueberries. I'm going to call them sask berries. And then you get this, like a little numbing sensation on your tongue, which must be the nettles. Very, very sweet. Very wonderful. We went for a walk around the neighborhood. I thought I wouldn't be able to make it, but I did. We went all the way up to the top of the neighborhood, which is quite a few blocks, and made it home, and I was hot and sweaty. So I sat down when I was looking at the second book that Spencer didn't want me to read, and he had me open up all these cars, and the baby came over to play with the cars, and he's hollering at him that he doesn't want to. And I heard the saga. Excuse me. I heard the saga of the flights. First of all, they get to the airport kind of on time. Early in the morning. At Diefenbacher. That's Saskatoon's airport. They get there and they have like a screening, TSA screening. Oh no. Yeah. And then from there they go to Calgary, Alberta. And at Calgary, the flight was delayed a little, so they missed their connecting flight because they had to be TSA approved to get into the United States. If they didn't have to do all that again, they would have not missed the connecting flight and would have been home by noon. But he said this time it was the United States TSA agents at Calgary. He said it was terrible. And they were scheduled on Alaskan Airlines or something. He said he would not recommend them. They were uncooperative. The TSA agents were treating them like criminals. That's why nobody wants to come to this country, because the TSA agents treat them like shit and like criminals. And yesterday morning, there was some new thing passed by our lovely government, which made it even harder for the travelers and the TSA agents, and that's probably why they were pissed off. And it's like, what else is going to happen? What, kind of the bad luck day thing. So they scheduled the next flight, 4 seats, in different places of the airplane, which would mean a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old would be seated somewhere amongst everyone else. Can't do that. So they had to stick by their guns and were given a different flight. This time, 3 of them in a row, Ash and the boys, and then right across the aisle was Brian. One of the flights, I don't remember which one, Brian had to sit between 2 grumpy women. Big, ugly, grumpy women. And they were complaining, he's got really long legs. He practically has them in his face. His legs are that long. And these women were hoping to sit and just jabber to each other the whole flight with this empty seat in between. Really? And they were pissed off that Brian was there. And there was a little boy in the row behind him that these women didn't want to even hear a child. Oh. So finally, when they disembarked, Brian turned to the little boy behind him and goes, I know how you feel. And then the last one, they went from Calgary to Seattle, Washington, from there back here to California. Brian said in Seattle they were behind these, hipsters. Yeah, that's what they are. They were behind some hipsters. He said he hates hipsters, and he hates the they're like overly privileged. That and the old rich fogies and the hipsters are like overly privileged, and Brian said it was just maddening. He had a headache so bad he felt like throwing up. And I said, you should have. Just throw up on these irritating people. Maybe they'd shut up. They finally got home, got things in, they got the car, and they came home. And I went over there. When I got home was 5 minutes before they did. And I turned the porch light on, and I turned a couple lights on so they wouldn't trip when they got in. And the car pulled in the driveway. So I opened the front door, and they were surprised to see me. I had to tell them I just came over to turn the porch light on. But I helped them bring in the bags. And both Brian and Ashley looked like they'd been run over by a combine. I felt so bad for them. And then today was a tap at the door and showing me everything. And then they went to the store because they had to get groceries. And I came over here and was sitting here in front of the TV catching up on some of the news vlogs. Pretty soon I'm staring at the TV. I could see the TV. I could see there was something on the TV. I couldn't hear the TV because my brain had disconnected. It disengaged. It went from the 3rd level of speed down to revving, like in neutral. So I'm in neutral, sitting here in the chair. I see the TV, and I can also hear myself going, like I was asleep, I guess. So I got up and went to bed, put on the timer because I wanted to be up on time to get myself together and go to play rehearsal. When my friend called me from New Jersey, we had a video chat for about half an hour, and it was good to talk to him. And then I decided to get up and try this tea. I had poured it earlier. It's loose leaf tea, but it was way too hot to drink, so I let it sit, and it's cool now. I think if it were that hot, and if I could manage to drink it that hot, I don't think I would have tasted the flavors. When things are tepid, lukewarm, you can taste flavors more. So here I am, kitty cat's hunkered down, and I am here. It's 3:30 in the afternoon. I have an hour and a half till I leave, so I'm going to eat something and try to memorize my lines. I don't speak that often during the play, and the very last time I go in and speak, I think I speak 4 times. The 4th time I go in, I know that one by heart. But the other 3, they're so random. and they pop up at random times. So the items that I spout off on a list are so weird and random. And there's a couple where the words together are hard to say, like a tongue twister. So I have to work on that. The director wants us, as soon as we can, to start memorizing because we have 3 weeks, 4 weeks? Not sure. Then doing stuff around here, and I've neglected my own housework or whatever. I'll catch up. I will. Sorry. And I'm an honorary Canadian. I'm sorry. I'm always like that. At the store, someone's trying to find something on the shelf, and I think I'm in the way. I'll say, sorry. I always do. Always have. I think the North Midwest, like Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and up into Canada, are more like that. Carbonated beverages are called pop. We excuse ourselves, we're overly friendly. It takes a year and a half to say goodbye when you're leaving someone's house. If you want to know all about that stuff, watch Charlie Berens. Behrens, I think is how he spells it. Charlie Berens is a comedian, but he shows you what it's like to be, he's from Minnesota, I think. Or Michigan? Minnesota? It's a lot like the Canadian way of doing things, and that's how I was raised. So there's a lot of Nordic and German, and then further north Nordic heritage, and that's just how the culture is. A lot of coffee, a lot of over politeness. That's how I was raised, and I don't mind it at all. My lower back is absolutely killing me. I don't know if it's a kidney thing. And Ashley said, well, you'll have to go to the doctor and have it looked at. And I said, I have an appointment at the end of August. I made it a month and a half ago. Yeah, that's our healthcare system. But it better, when they offered me that appointment, I grabbed it. I hear a baby hollering and crying over there. Knowing him, he's probably hungry. Brian said he never saw such snacking in all his life. He goes, Scott and Marley's kids, they're always eating. They're always eating something. And Brian and Ash are a little more particular about what the kids eat and how often they eat. But there was always a bag of chips open, little mini bag of chips or candy or something. He said the whole time he was there, Spencer was wired. And he said, Felix is going to be 7 this coming month. Oh, this month. Actually, is it today? Yeah, today is Felix's birthday. He must eat a lot of candy, but he has ADHD and he's buzzing around like he's on fire. Oh, things will calm down a little bit. Maybe I have a couple other things that are new around here that I can show you once in the bathroom. Yeah. It's definitely the little guy howling and crying over there, but I'm not sure why. Maybe he's tired. But they should have just had their nap, so I don't know. Supposed to get up to 100 on Sunday or something. Brian's supposed to work the 4th of July. Or the 4th of July night, or I don't know. 4th of July, I think he works. We were going to have barbecue, but I think they still are, but I don't know which day. Oh my goodness. How long have I talked? Almost 20 minutes. Well, take your care of self. Yes. I need to find some brain repair. Half of it's disintegrated. Boy, I hope that isn't the thing. Oh, man. Because I want to be able to be fresh when I get up and go upwards and onwards.